All right, so it's been a minute since I did one of these. I'm gonna try to keep it brief. Uh, before I even begin, right? I want to preface by saying I think that one of the biggest issues with this space of ours, with so-called leftists, you feel me, spaces, is that very few people very few people talk to straight men, talk to and about straight men, or talk about straight men to straight men in a way that's not condescending, in a way that's not accusatory, in a way that's productive. You feel me? I'm gonna just keep it a buck. There's a lot of this, and I've said this in the past, is that one of my biggest problems with the way that leftists practice their leftism these days is that don't nobody's experience matter until and unless it validates my own, or until and unless it reflects my own. That's why I say a lot of leftists, you feel me, ain't really leftists. You understand what I'm saying? They just use leftism as a means to access whatever privilege they've been denied. You dig what I'm saying? And that's why, but anyway, so again, you got a handful of folk like myself, you feel me, like Foreign Man, like FD, you feel me, Khadija and Bowie is a good one, Herbie is another good one, who, you feel me, will call y'all down on the carpet, tell you about your head assery, and then tell you how to fix it. You understand what I'm saying? Then it's on you to decide whether you care or not to fix it. So that's what I'm saying right now. Whenever I do call y'all down on the carpet, understand I'm doing something because I want y'all to be better, and I know y'all can be better. You understand what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, most of the places that y'all have been, I have been there. You dig what I'm saying? And I grew out of it, but I wasn't able to grow out of it until I confronted it and said, this is what it is. Now let's tackle this joint head on. So all of that out the way, now I got to get into that ass, right? Now I got to get into some of y'all's behind, because some of y'all have been showing y'all's behind over the past couple days. So let's start at the beginning, right? So, and again, I'm gonna try to keep this, under 15 minutes. If I don't hold me to that. A couple days ago, Doechii, the world's greatest rapper now, according to the core audience of Anthony Fantano and Pitchfork.com. There's no shade to Fantano, you understand what I'm saying, but I'm just saying it's a certain type of person that take those outlets as gospel, right, and then turn around and make that their whole personality. So according to that audience, you feel me, Doechii is the greatest rapper alive right now, and there's no shade to her. I enjoy Doechii's music, you feel me. Matter of fact, I remember saying at one point a little while ago that I felt like she was next up, and lo and behold, I am a prophet. A prophet is without honor in his own hometown, or whatever, whatever Nostradamus said. But anyway, I digress. So Doechii has been doing the rounds, you feel me, doing the media rounds or whatever and whatnot, and they had her on a pod a couple days ago, and they were asking her about dating preferences, and she said that one of her red flags is a straight man. Now, some context is important here, because a lot of y'all may not know this, but Doechii is bisexual. She is a queer woman. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes perfect sense to me why a queer woman would want to be in the company of other queer people. And for those of y'all who, for whatever reason, don't understand why, it's because straight men, we have this problem, because we do operate from, now listen, I'm not going to do the whole black men are the white people of black people thing, because that's some old pick me BS that I'm not even, y'all should already know how I feel about very smart brothers. Y'all should know how I feel about the root, all of that nonsense or whatever. It's a psyop to me, basically. So I ain't going that route. But there is truth to the idea that straight black men operating from a position of privilege, we do not know, and therefore many of us lack the capacity to decenter ourselves in these conversations. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We just lack the capacity to prioritize the needs and the wants and the safety, you understand what I'm saying, of folk who are not straight black men. And as a result, it creates this environment in which abuse is enabled. You feel me? Abuse specifically toward black women, and even more specifically toward queer black women. You understand what I'm saying? Because their experience does not matter. And listen, you could say, oh, I love black women, I clap for black women, blah, blah, blah. The stone cold reality is that our community, because we put such a great emphasis, you feel me, on the interest of straight black men. You dig what I'm saying? If you grew up, you feel me, the way that I grew up, you feel me, around all of these, black identity movements talking about, oh, we got to uplift the black man. You feel me? The Nation of Islam. If you grew up in the black church, you understand it's always been, about elevating the black man, because if we elevate the black man, then, we elevate the collective in the process. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to prioritize. We always, we got to fall on our sword for black men, right? You understand what I'm saying? We got the sort of, we got to get them a pass for some of, the head assery, for some of the shiesty stuff. You dig what I'm saying? Because if they come up, then we all come up. And don't tell me that that's not what it has been. You understand what I'm saying? Historically speaking, it's only been recently, you dig what I'm saying, that there's been a pushback against that. You feel me? Within community to say, no, you understand, it can't just be about men, but it's got to be about us as well. But anyway, my point is this, is that we don't know in the same way that white folks, and this is a point that I made, you feel me, on the main channel, about how what I had said was, if Doechii had said, if she hadn't said straight men, if she had said white men, that white men are a red flag to me, not only would you niggas have known exactly what she was trying to say, but y'all would have applauded it. You feel me? You would have stood up and you would have gave her a round of applause. But because, you feel me, she talked about your identity and you took that as an attack, you reacted instead of ruminating on it. You understand? Instead of thinking on it and thinking, well, why did she say what she said? And if you don't know why she said what she said, I'll tell you, nigga. I'll tell you why she said what she said. It's because we all have. And don't tell me that we don't. And this leads me into the next point, because the next day, court documents came out. You understand what I'm saying? In the ongoing P. Diddler case, right? And a couple of folk, this was originally a football channel before I got bored and decided to do other stuff with it. So I'm assuming that most of the folk that's watching this know who OBJ is, know who Odell Beckham Jr. is. Well, he, along with Doechii, have been implicated in these documents. You understand what I'm saying? In this case against the P. Diddler, right? And instantly, the first thing that I saw, and I don't even know, because I don't even got Twitter no more, but I saw a tweet, you feel me, online. I guess it was on one of those off sites, and they had screenshotted the tweet. But the tweet had said, it's frightening to me how so many people are just hopping onto this Doechii and OBJ mess without having a source to confirm it. Bitch, what do you think the court documents were? You understand? Listen, it'd be one thing if it were a civil suit, right? But this is the Southern District of New York, nigga. You know what that means? That means the federal government. That means the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is who is saying this. And I'm trying to tell you, when the federal government, there's a reason why the federal government has a 99 point something rate of conviction. And that's because when the feds bring charges against you, nigga, you going down. You feel me? One way or another, you going to listen. You're going to cop a plea. You're going to, one way or another. Because the feds, listen, when the feds open a case on you, and once the feds get done and they say we got enough to bring this to trial, what that means is they went and they talked to everybody. That means that they had wiretaps. They got videotape, nigga. They got all of your text messages going back to the first iPhone 4 that you got on your parents' plan. You feel me? That means they went all the way back to your third grade social studies teacher and got every bit of dirt that they got on you. You understand? Went and they found out about how you snuck a kiss from your first crush, or about that little girl whose butt you grabbed in 5th grade. They got all the dirt on you. You understand what I'm saying? But that just goes to show, that proves her point right there. You understand what I'm saying? That we got court documents that implicate these niggas, and the first reaction that a lot of y'all had was, oh, well, I gotta wait for a lawyer to make this make sense to me. Oh, well, I gotta hear a little bit more. And then you wonder why, you feel me, the women folk don't want to mess with us. Because we don't know how to prioritize their interests. We don't know how to decenter ourselves and to say, all right, I'ma shut up, because this ain't about me. Because, nigga, it ain't about you. It's about them, and it's about their safety. And to go a step further, you understand? And listen, I don't want to hear about, oh, well, the women did it too, the women blah, 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 the way, because why do you think they do? You feel me? Why do you think that, you feel me, you got women that's still going to Chris Brown concerts and going to Trey Songz concerts and all of that and whatever and whatnot? Why do you think they do that? Because the community has conditioned them, has taught them that their interest is not a priority. You understand what I'm saying? They have internalized misogyny because of the culture, because of the environment that they grew up in. The same way that a lot of niggas, the same way that, because y'all love to talk about, Steve Harvey. Y'all love to talk about Thomas Sowell. Y'all love to talk about all of these, y'all love to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Y'all love to talk about all of these respectability niggas and their internalized anti-blackness. Well, where does that come from? The society that they grew up in taught them, you understand what I'm saying, that blackness is bad unless and until it is compliant with the proclivities, well, unless it is compliant with the sensibilities, rather, of white supremacy, of whiteness. And so you got a lot of women that's running around with internalized misogyny because the culture, the community that they grew up in, it told them that their form of feminine, it does not matter. Femininity, the female experience, a woman's experience, does not matter unless and until it is compliant with what men say that it is. So if men say that they don't give a F about my safety, why should I? I'ma listen to what I want to listen to. He ain't, you feel me? He ain't abusing me. He ain't choking me. You feel me? He ain't raping me. So what do I care? You understand what I'm saying? Again, that's a product of the environment that they come from, because we all got that one. We all got somebody. We all know somebody. You might even have a homeboy who you stopped hanging. Listen, I got plenty of them. You got a homeboy who you stopped hanging around because of some sideways stuff that he said about women. You understand what I'm saying? We've all heard it in the barbershop. We've all heard it in the locker rooms. And how often have we heard these conversations and they've gone unchecked? Listen, I promise you, every woman that you know, black women especially, have a story about being in a situation where they felt like they were at risk of harm. You understand what I'm saying? I promise you, you have somebody, whether it's an auntie, whether it's a homegirl, whether it's a cousin, whether it's your own mama, nigga, that if you actually sat down and you asked them and you talked to them, they'll tell you about a time where they wound up having sex with a man because they felt like they would be in danger otherwise. Where they felt like, or they knew for a fact that I'm not going to leave this room. I'm not going to leave this dorm room. I'm not going to leave this apartment. You feel me? He's not going to let me leave until and unless I give him what he wants. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And that's normalized. It's normalized. This is the reason why. This is the reason why we got Bill Cosby. This is the reason. Listen, later for Bill Cosby and Drewski and all of that and whatever, I'm talking about the niggas whose names are never going to come up, you feel me, in a newspaper. I'm talking about the niggas that we all know that's hanging around, lurking around here. You understand what I'm saying? And for as brazy, and this is part of the reason why I can't stand social media, as brazy as some folk talk about, oh yeah, you know, well, I would split that nigga's wig, you feel me? Oh, well, you know, we gonna string him up, we gonna this, that, and the third, we gonna whatever, and blah, 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 and this, that, and all these other kinds of things. Well, why they still walking around then? Most of you niggas ain't built like that. Most of you niggas ain't prepared, you feel me, to hold somebody accountable for doing some shiesty stuff. Because most of you niggas won't, y'all talk so much about what you would do if somebody did something to your family, but you won't even check niggas when they in the barbershop talking sideways. You won't even check niggas when they in the locker room. You too scared, you too bitch made to talk about it, to say, yo, you need to chill out with that. You need to, you know, stop all of that crazy talk. You understand what I'm saying? You too bitch made to do that, but you talking about what you going to do to somebody if they ever did something to your daughter or if they ever did something to your sister. Nigga, if you don't get out my face with that, you understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all this, and understand something. I'll wrap up on this because, like I said, I ain't want this to go too long. It's already gone 2 minutes longer than what I wanted to. But I'll wrap up on this point, man. Maybe it's because I grew up, you feel me, with a single mom who did everything that I grew up and that I was told, that I was taught by the church, that I was taught by family, that I was taught by my own mother. All the things that a man is supposed to do, I saw my mom do that. And I sat there and I watched my mom do the job of a mother and a father. And this isn't to say that my father wasn't in my life, but you feel me, I've talked about this in the past, you know, he kind of, you know, was in and out depending on, you know, how hot the kitchen got, if you understand what I'm saying. But I saw my mom play the role of mom and dad. You feel me? Of husband and wife in her house. And here come, you feel me, these dusty, shiftless niggas telling her that her problem is that she don't know how to submit. And that's why she can't keep a man. These is niggas that can't even be bothered to get up off the couch and go down to the Social Security office and go get their EBT card. You understand what I'm saying? But you later for filling out a job application, you can't even file for unemployment. But you want to sit there and you want to talk about, you know, a woman need to submit to you just because you got something swinging between your legs. And nigga, if you don't go, you know, go twist your testes and kick rock somewhere, you understand what I'm saying? Maybe it's because of that. But I'm gonna tell y'all, one of the sexiest trait that you can have for a woman, the sexiest trait you can have is empathy for her experience. I'm trying to tell y'all, because I don't have game like that. You understand? I'm awkward. You feel me? When I was in college, I was a wallflower. I was always quiet, and you know, a lot of girls will think I'm trying to be mysterious, trying to be, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, that's part of what makes some guys attractive is, oh, you know, I want to see what he got going on under the hood. You know, I want to see, you know, what type of time, because, you know, he's not, you know, he's the only one around here, you feel me, who's not, you know, looking at, you know, the whale tail that's poking up out of my apple bottoms. You understand? He's the only one, You understand? That's not, staring at my nipples, you feel me, my bare nipples poking out this sheer top with no bra on. You understand what I'm saying? He's the only one that I want to see what type of time he on. And then they would get to talking to me, and then they would get to know me and realize, oh, so he really does think about me as a human being. He really does care about, my condition. You feel me? Let me go ahead and take these panties off, you feel me, real quick, and show him how much I care about him. You understand? Let me go ahead, you feel me, and tie these braids in a ponytail real quick, so I can show him how much I care. You feel me? That's been my experience. You understand? So I'm trying to tell y'all, part of the reason why some of y'all's dicks stay drier than the Sahara is because y'all don't know how to decenter yourselves. And the minute that a woman starts to talk about her experience and talk about it unapologetically, that's the thing, is y'all want women to apologize. Y'all want women to feel comfortable with, y'all want women to make y'all comfortable with their experience. And that's not how that works. You understand what I'm saying? As soon as a woman starts to speak in a way that's unapologetic and that's raw and that's unfiltered, now y'all feel some type of way. You personally feel attacked by it. And the reason why is because you have not learned how to decenter yourself from somebody else's experience. And that is a direct result of the way that we understand, you feel me, black masculinity within community. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, is y'all got to learn how to decenter yourselves from these conversations. And y'all got to learn how to empathize with folk whose experience does not match up one-to-one with y'all's. You dig? And maybe, who knows, maybe you might get the nut in something besides your own hand for once. Something besides, you feel me, a tissue paper or something. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, there you have it. Empathy is the quickest route into some booty butt cheeks. If that's what it takes for y'all, that's what it is. Learn how to decenter yourself. Decenter yourself into some dicking. Deuces.